Man, I feel like we were just in here doing a post-game show.
Yeah, I'm going to try to scream a little bit less this time.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Happy Wednesday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show, coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. I am Anthony Totri, joined as always on these whimsical Wednesdays by the one, the only Chicken Little himself. The sky has fallen.
It was falling last night.
It has fallen for
ASU
Erik
men's
Ruby.
basketball.
You
man.
earned your nickname.
I definitely did
on that podcast. We got Captain Redbeard steering the ship behind the back as always. Do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop a tasty 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, buckle up, grab a snack. We have a jam-packed show for everybody today. We're talking ASU hoops. We're getting into the heat index, some factor caps, some predictions with football. We have a ton to get into. BC in the chat saying he's here early as always. Go Sun Devils. Absolutely. BC in here. Also, shout out to everybody that was in the post-game show late last night. You got the chance to hear Erik Ruby really get into his basketball sicko mode, but it was a lot of screaming. Neck veins were popping for Erik Ruby.
Can I just say a couple of things?
Yeah, say what you got to say, man.
Because I didn't say enough last night. Sorry for getting so angry. I was not a fan of what I was seeing on the court.
Yeah.
Game 1 of the season, I still believe in my guys. So let's get back to the drawing board. Let's take down Santa Clara, start the season 2-0, and let's get those good vibes rolling. I've already flushed game 1. You know, this team is on the road to dominance. I've completely flipped.
On the road to dominance, he says.
Bobby, coach of the year in the Big 12. Quaintance and Sannon fighting for freshman of the year. Take that, VJ Edgecombe. Adam Miller's going to average 50. So
Adam Miller's going to average 50.
I slept on it. I thought about it. And I was just so wrong last night.
You were wrong. You were wrong.
I don't think I was wrong. I don't think I was wrong. I just think I was a little inflamed about it.
I mean, yeah, you were definitely a little heated. And I think, really letting that soak in and kind of evaluate where Arizona State was supposed to be at this time, right, in terms of starting the college basketball season. Like you said on yesterday's show, you had expectations, right? And I think that is why and where the frustration comes from, because there was expectations for an early dominant win against a team in Idaho State that doesn't hold a candle athletically to Arizona State. And I brought this up with Mike Luke earlier today on an edition of Behind the Enemy Lines that's going to come out Thursday, is that it wasn't even necessarily the issues offensively for me.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that. For me, it was the fact that we're now 2 games in with a new roster, hope, a new conference, and we're sitting here talking about motivation. We're sitting here talking about a team just wanting to go out there and show effort and energy when that's not something that you should have to do at this point in the season against a team that you're playing at home that you should go wipe the floor with. Like, you should be elated to go out there and do that. The same thing against Duke. You should have been energetic and just absolutely juiced to go out there against a top 10 team on a legendary court where your coach carved a legacy, and you should be amped to go out there and try and get that dub. But for the second straight game now, obviously one counts, one doesn't. This team doesn't look like they have the juice quite yet. I don't know, though, if that's something that you can build, right? Because Bobby Hurley teams have never had that issue.
Okay.
That hasn't ever been an issue for the last couple of years when we're talking about Bobby Hurley teams.
Here's my worry and concern with all of that. And it's not in the sense that I think it can't be fixed at all. But I'm trying to find the tweet that I pulled up from, I believe it was Devil's Digest last night. But just paraphrasing on it, Bobby was like, you can't, you shouldn't have to like ask guys to be motivated for that game. And that is a concerning quote from me. And I'm sorry, I'm really trying to find it right now. He tweeted a lot, but okay. Quote, "It wasn't pretty. It wasn't inspiring. Very frustrated by how we started off the second half. I described it like an AAU game. It had no meaning to it. The last thing you think you'd have to worry about is guys being motivated." Now, here's my issue with that. Is you, as the head coach, should always be worried about your guys being motivated. You should, here's the thing. You need to recruit guys that can self-motivate. Right. But you also need to lead that charge. And if you didn't see that your guys were motivated coming into game one of the season after getting your butt kicked by Duke on a pretty national stage, I don't understand why there's that lack of motivation. And it's concerning either way. It's either concerning because this is a group of players that does not self-motivate and they can't do that, or it's concerning because Bobby doesn't know how to get them right and motivated. You can't just expect that, hey, that's just going to happen. JJ says he rewatched some of the game. He has some thoughts. I'm curious to hear his thoughts, but also yours to that.
Yeah, and I went back. I watched the post-game presser for Bobby. It was a pretty short one, but he said, that's on me. That's on me and the rest of the coaching staff to make sure that these guys have that energy and effort throughout the game, right? Not just for a stretch. In the first half, this team looked lethargic in the second half. You could see that in the shooting. You could see that in the numbers. And you could see that in Idaho State pulling back into this game. Arizona State at one point, the largest lead was 13. And then from there, it just kind of fizzled out offensively, right? That's not a problem for me. But when you're a team that feels like you already don't really want to be there for a full half, that's a problem.
This is the game you should be excited for.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a team, again, that what's the style of play, right? Is we are going to clamp you on defense and we're going to make you run an offense. You can't do that effectively if you don't want to be there. If you're an effort team, and that's an effort way to win ball games, right? Is just play hustle defense and then go run the floor. Like if you don't have that energy, you don't have that effort, then you're going to have a tough time in the Big 12 really starting to get around teams that what they do is defense, right? Like a Houston or an Iowa State that is meant to stifle you because of the way that they play defense. So you're going to have to figure it out. We said it on yesterday's show. I think Sannon and Mason were the best players on the court for Arizona State last night. I think Jayden Quaintance showed promise. Offensively, there needs to be a little bit more of a game plan, I feel like, for JQ. But again, these are things that will come in time. Like I'm not ready to hit the panic button.
You hope.
Yeah.
I think the reason why, and Lions Den, I see you in the chat.
All caps. Lions Den's been all caps the whole show.
I get what you're saying, and if you have that energy, I would highly encourage you to go back and watch. Don't watch the game, but watch last night's post-game show. I shared a lot of your frustrations. I think the reason why this game hits harder than maybe normal game ones would with this type of turnover on a roster and this type of situation is because you're not seeing new problems come up. You're seeing old problems continue with new players. And when there are problems that seemingly carry over from team to team to team, you have to start wondering why. JJ sharing some of his thoughts in the chat. Of course, JJ, a massive ASU basketball fan, says, 1, we passed and moved the ball better than I think we're realizing, but continuing to miss open shots is inexcusable. You're right.
No, I think the ball movement was good last
especially
night.
In the first half. 2, if we want to be an in-transition offense again, we have to move and transition. True. And 3, BJ Freeman comedy bit aside, the dude was plus 14, which led the team. He does too much and brings too much value to come off the bench. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with the fact that I think you're underrating BJ's game a little bit from last night, and I think you might have made up your mind early on it. I want to give BJ more run in the starting lineup, and especially for a team that is missing open shots, somebody who goes and is able to score double-digit points it's impressive. Like impressive in the sense of there was no offensive identity, and one thing that you mentioned was Jayden Quaintance. There was nothing easy set up for him.
No.
And I am not we can sit here and talk about Bobby Hurley all you want. I would not be a better basketball coach than Bobby Hurley. I don't know a fraction about basketball that Bobby Hurley knows. But what I do know is that if I had a 5-star 17-year-old center with all this talent and I'm trying to get the best out of him, I would have drawn something up to get him involved early. It felt like he was left out there to figure it out on his own. And that cannot be the case against Santa Clara, because when you get into these games that you mentioned, the Houstons, the Baylors, the Arizonas, the Kansases, the Iowa States of the world, even UCF, like there are lots of good teams. Your 17-year-old cannot be lacking confidence, and you have to find ways to get them involved. And that is on Bobby Hurley, and that needs to change.
I think again, we sometimes have an issue correlating football and basketball, and right, you're the basketball guy, I'm the football guy. I think there is something to be said about getting some of these guys in a rhythm and getting comfortable, right? How often do we talk about Sam Leavitt as being a rhythm quarterback, a young redshirt freshman quarterback that early on in games when plays are scripted, what do? You try and set them up, call easy dink and dunk plays that Sam Leavitt is going to complete, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mesh concepts over the middle, some screens, some RPO actions. Yeah. That way you just feel comfortable, right? You've got the ball moving, you've got completions going. The same can be said about Arizona State basketball and some of these younger freshmen. Not just Jayden Quaintance, but Josan Sannon as well, right?
Yep.
Getting him easy looks, setting up plays directly for these guys to get the shot that they want early on in the game. That way you do have a little bit of a rhythm, because a rhythm for any basketball player or any player in general is huge. But for a younger player playing in their very first home college basketball game at this level, being able to let them really soak into the flow of the game offensively is what's going to set them up for success year over year.
Yeah, I think the cross-sport comparison is very valid here. And you think back to Wyoming, and I mentioned this last night, and not to beat a dead horse. Lions Den, it's okay. I love your passion. Like, it's fine. You're not saying anything crazy. Yeah, you're not saying anything crazy. Whatever you need to say, vent. I feel you. I did the same thing, but verbally last night.
Dude, literally neck vein popping.
Yeah, our diehards in our Discord took a picture. Like, it's serious when Erik's neck vein is popping, and this thing right here. If that thing pops out, it's.
Do we have a name for him?
Oh. That should be Chicken Little.
Nigel the neck vein.
Nigel the neck vein.
Yeah.
I feel like the neck vein should be Chicken Little.
You think?
I think because
What's Chicken Little's name in the movie? Is it just Chicken Little?
Dude, I don't know. I can't believe that I'm going from talking about Bobby Hurley to what was Chicken Little's name.
For the purpose of naming your neck vein.
Ace Cluck.
Ace Cluck.
Sorry.
Ace Cluck is a great name.
It is a great name for a chicken.
Great name.
Great name.
This is Ace.
Ace Cluck?
This is Ace. Just Ace.
AC?
Just Ace.
Ace. Okay.
Okay. So, but back to the Wyoming game. This was your chance to make that statement to start the season out confidently. And I said this last night, and I'll say it again. If ASU barely squeaks by with a win against Wyoming, there is zero chance they are sitting here 6-2 today.
Okay.
That confidence building, that momentum for a team that's in a similar position as this basketball team. Lots of moving pieces, lots of transfers. The only difference is their head coach is in year 2 of building their culture, right? And there was already hey, we're going out there, right? Like we are taking over. We know exactly what we're going to do, and we know how we're going to dominate. And we didn't see that from ASU basketball. And I have high expectations. I am holding them to high expectations. And I know I said I wasn't going to scream, so I'll calm it down a little bit. But they have a long way to go to get close to those expectations.
Yeah.
And I think, Totri, there is a world where they get there. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying I'm out. I'm not saying don't support the team. But there are patterns that if they persist, Nigel's coming back. Or Ace, whatever we're calling him.
I love Nigel.
He's okay, we'll call him Nigel.
We'll in the chat, Nigel Throckberry.
That's great. That is great.
Look, before we move on to football, I'm curious for you. Again, Josan Sannon and Jayden Quaintance are, in my eyes, the X factors for this team, right? I know BJ Freeman, Alston Mason, Adam Miller, some of these guys are really, really talented players, but those two have the potential to be superstars.
They could be lottery picks if all goes right.
They could be. They absolutely could
Nobody
be.
else on this team can say that.
So give me one thing that you want to see each of them improve dramatically against Santa Clara.
Sannon improved dramatically. Give me more defense. I need them to like kind of
more for
flop.
Sannon?
I need more defense for Sannon, and I need Quaintance. Like, I know I said it's on Bobby to get him in rhythm for sure, and I don't disagree with that.
You don't disagree with what you said earlier?
No. However, a counter to that would be there were moments where Jayden Quaintance had Totri size guards on him, and he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do.
Slam on him. That's what you do.
I don't even need dunks. I don't need dunks. I need
dunks.
I need decisions, and I need them fast, and I need them strong. And if that decision is to put your body into them and go into the paint, that's the right one. But if it's to try to create a mismatch, draw a double, and throw a pass, like, fine. But you need to be confident in that. And I'm sorry that right now it doesn't appear like your coach is putting you in that position. But brother, at the end of the day, like, I'm somebody on the basketball court, I get in my own head. I get in my own head a lot. So I know
really?
I can see it when it happens. And he is in his own head.
Who
right?
is? Which one? Quaintance?
Quaintance isn't. Sannon is not in his own head. Sannon is.
Let it rain.
In the most complimentary way possible. Sannon just is not affected by what's going on.
Dude.
Yeah, he just shoots. I am high on both of them.
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I'm high on both of them. I do think both are going to be good. And I do think Jayden Quaintance is going to become a more consistent and sustainable offensive presence. But there are two things that need to happen to do that. He needs to be put in a better situation to succeed, and he needs to not overthink it. You are an athletic freak. He doesn't overthink it on the defensive end.
That's valid.
He takes bodies. Do that on the offensive end.
Bodies.
But he's 17 years old. Like, it's going to take time, but that's where he needs to improve if we're just being realistic.
No, you're valid. I agree with you. Guys. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review, wherever you get your podcast. We are going to hit the gridiron next, start talking about some Arizona State football, but we are going to take a quick break.
Our friends over at Branded Bills, they're the only thing that could stop me from being upset. Because Brandon Bills is elite. The perfect headwear. Comfort, style, performance, all of that wrapped into one with snapbacks, truckers, fitted beanies, and tees. Brandon Bills has you covered front to back. You can wear them forward, you can wear it backwards.
Literally covered head to toe.
Exactly. Well, they don't have anything for the toes. Yeah.
Not yet.
They do have tees, though. They do have t-shirts, cover up your back. And you can get your own personal branded stuff on Branded Bills, hence the name. I know we're going to be getting our own PHNX things as well. They do have exclusive partnerships with ASU, and they do charity work with schools like U of A. And speaking on the ASU thing, I own 5 Branded Bills hats. I wear them pretty much every single day. All of those repping you-know-who. Forks up, baby.
Devils.
And you can do that too, and you can get a discounted price on them. Head to brandonbills.com, use code PHNX for 20% off your first order. Go support a local company out of Mesa, Arizona.
Do you like money?
Yes.
Do you like snacks?
Yes.
Do you like drinks?
Sure.
You like good vibes?
Yeah.
Circle K.
Easy.
I feel like it should just
easy.
end
That's
right
the whole
there.
ad read.
Guys, Inner Circle. We tell you about it every single day. It's Circle K's free membership program. And we tell you about it every single day because we want you to save money and to be able to capitalize on some of the really awesome deals that Circle K has. Those deals include saving 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. And then every fill-up after that, every day, you can save 3 cents per gallon. It starts to add up. It's super easy to get started with Inner Circle. Just download the app, enter your email and phone number, and boom, you are going to be fully enrolled. Enjoy your member exclusive beverage deal. Inner Circle members like you can get any size Polar Pop or Froster for just 79 cents. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, drop a 5-star review if you haven't already. Look, we've talked about Arizona State basketball. We've done that now for about an hour and 15 minutes over the last 2 shows.
Hoop. I love hoop.
I know you love hoop.
I love hoop.
I'm so happy to talk hoop with you on this program.
But I also love 6 and 2, baby.
I love 6 and 2. 6 and 2 is awesome. Potentially moving to 7 and 2. But right now, Arizona State, again, potentially without running back Cam Skattebo against UCF. Kenny Dillingham after practice today. Another player has been ruled out. Keyshaun Elliot, starting linebacker for your Arizona State Sun Devils. He is set to miss this weekend's game against UCF. Certainly going to be an issue with RJ Harvey, the Big 12's top running back, coming to town. So we'll obviously see what this Arizona State defense can do. We've seen some players step up time and again, especially at that linebacker position. But when it comes to Cam Skattebo and the running game, this Arizona State offense, we've yet to see what Arizona State can do without Cam Skattebo. And again, he's questionable to doubtful. Doesn't mean he's not going to play. It just is trending in that direction. Cam Skattebo not practicing all week. But that does lead us into Fact or Cap. Erik, brought to you by Branded Bills. Elevate your brand with Branded Bills, the perfect headwear and apparel. Use code PHNX for 20% off your first order. Erik, Fact or Cap, Cam Skattebo needs to play for Arizona State to win.
No. Cap.
Cap, okay.
Cap. He needs to play for ASU to have a way better chance at winning. But I've seen nothing from this team that says that they cannot win a game against UCF without Cam Skattebo. Kyson Brown will be running back 1 next year.
Should be.
And I think he's going to get a chance to be heavily featured in this offense. Sam Leavitt also really helps control the ground game. He's been running back 2 this year for a majority of it. Plus, you have another week of him getting healthier, which helps as well. This is a game that they can win without Cam. Now, am I as confident? No, but they definitely can do it.
How do you again, I know Kyson Brown is going to be a big player in this weekend's game against UCF. I think we could see Alton McCaskill. I think Alton McCaskill in this game would be a lot of fun if we can get him out there. Obviously, you're getting to Carlos Brooks as well in this offense. I'm not too concerned about the ground game this week, to be completely honest with you. Again, Cam hasn't been ruled out. Cam is tough as nails. It would take a lot for Cam Skattebo to miss this weekend's game, which is something that I don't think we've talked a ton about. I don't think a lot of people have talked about is, yes, questionable to doubtful. I'm interested to know how much of that is Kenny just trying to push Scat toward just having that emotional, oh, you're not going to play. You're not going to play. You're not going to play. Right? Like we heard in the previous week, Cam was telling Sam of oh, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. And then boom, he was able to. I think Scat plays.
I'd hope.
I don't think he needs to play.
So here's the thing. I would say, I think Scat plays too. But then you think about what they did with Sam Leavitt. This is not a coaching staff that is exuding desperation.
Yeah.
You know, I know we're sitting here and we're thinking, hey, if you beat UCF by a ton, you're in the top 25. And then you go and you play Kansas State. And if you beat Kansas State, then you're in competition to win the Big 12. Right?
I mean, yeah, you have to win out.
You have to win out. But if you beat Kansas State, there's one more test in front of you to win out.
But it doesn't matter if you lose to UCF.
No, but if you lose to I get it. But I'm saying that's what we're saying. Right? But what it doesn't seem like is that this is a program that's just exuding fear of not reaching a certain goal. And they showed that when they didn't rush Sam Leavitt back against Cincinnati.
Yeah, no, they're playing with house money.
You could have been bowl eligible after beating Cincinnati, right? But this is a coaching staff and a program that I do believe has the best interests of the players in mind. And I think if the best interest is we are not going to get 100% or close to 100% Cam Skattebo as we can on Saturday, I wouldn't be shocked if they keep him out. Yeah. I think they have confidence in next man up, which is tough because Cam's the best player on this team. So next man up is a big ask, even bigger than Keyshaun to Caleb McCullough.
Yeah,
is Cam to Kyson. So we will see.
Yeah,
I think he plays, but I'm not shocked if he doesn't.
But we both agree that it's Cap, that he doesn't need to play for this team to win.
You asked me while I was drinking water like a waiter, so thanks.
Sorry, man.
Yes,
I asked you before you actually started drinking.
Yeah, it's true.
That's on you. Will says, not playing doesn't destroy ASU this weekend, but it does ruin his Heisman chances. I would agree on that front.
I love him, but the Heisman chances
he's not going to win the Heisman anyways.
He was top 10 right now. It's rare that you see somebody, again, good for him being top 10, who's 10 and finds a way to be
J&T's
one.
Winning the Heisman. And if he doesn't win the Heisman, college football is wrong. Like, that's just how that works. Just going to throw that out
Do you
there.
say his last name wrong?
Janty?
Because I said that around
Ginty?
Shane, and then Shane was like, that's the Totri effect. You're saying his last name wrong.
Is it Ash and Janty?
I don't know. I just don't even want to say it.
Janty? Does it matter?
Giante?
It's definitely not Giante.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm 100% positive.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
Ash and
messing around.
Giante?
I'm messing around.
That's
I'm messing
crazy.
around.
That would be crazy.
AZ Cats you, the $2 super chat. Are you guys going to be at trivia tomorrow night? Are you going to be there?
You read it. Are you going?
I'm
still TBD. I'm still questionable to doubtful.
I have a playoff basketball game.
You're going to get slaughtered.
That we're going to get slaughtered in tomorrow.
I'm questionable.
I think you should go. I think I got to go play basketball.
Hey, Damon, come here real quick.
Oh, no.
Let's see if Damon's going. Damon, you going to trivia tomorrow night?
What time is it at?
I think 7? 6 or 7?
7 at Chicken and Pickle.
7 at Chicken and Pickle. Sure.
Damon's there.
Damon's in.
Damon's in.
Just like that, Damon Dog will be in attendance.
Mark it down.
Captain
If he's
Redbeard, are you
if
going?
he's not there, he owes you a drink.
You going, Captain Redbeard?
He doesn't have a car, so
Questionable. Captain Redbeard
I
is
don't-
also.
Questionable too.
You're questionable.
No,
You
look
just
at the
said- You just
backtrack.
said you were probable.
Look at the backtrack.
Probable. No, I mean, but there's no problem. They took away the probable designation.
Okay.
You can only do questionable. Yeah. Likely to play, he says. Likely to play. Look, continuing with this UCF Arizona State conversation, I think for me, whether Scat was playing or not, this game wasn't going to be on Scat's shoulders. UCF is 13th out of 16 right now in the Big 12 in terms of passing defense. They give up 248 yards through the air. For me, this game was always going to be a Sam Leavitt game, less of a Cam Skattebo game, although it obviously helps to have your lead tailback in the ball game.
It helps.
Especially against a team in UCF that defensively just isn't the greatest in the world. They stop the run pretty well. I think they are 3rd or 4th in this conference right now against the run. But against the pass, they are one of the worst teams in this conference. Look, we are going to get to Heat Index here in a second. For those of you that don't know, Heat Index, 3 Arizona State Sun Devils that need to go out there and have a massive weekend if the Sun Devils are going to move to 7-2. We are going to get to Heat Index, but we are going to do it on the other side of this break. Look, if you're an Arizona Wildcat fan, I'm here to tell you, you're on the floor.
You're at the floor, pal.
You're at the floor because of that football program, but it's okay because there's always a chance to update and renovate your floors.
Oh, but it must be so difficult and inconvenient.
No, not with Empire today, guys. You get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. Empire Today, the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, they're going to have some copycats out there, but Empire Today can't be beat on quality, service, and speed. They're not going to promise you the lowest prices because anybody that does is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in their own. And that's not what you want, right, Erik? You want floors that are reliable, can trust, and let's be real, that look good wherever you need them.
Yeah.
In an apartment, home, doesn't matter. Empire Today, they are the flooring company for you guys. They pride themselves on convenient shop at home service, help customers shop for floors where they use their floors so they can see exactly what they're going to look like in their homes, lighting, decor, so that they can make an informed decision, guys. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use that promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/PHNX for details.
You heard AZ Cats G ask about our trivia night. That is over at Chicken and Pickle. And let me tell you, Chicken and Pickle is the place to be. Of course, listen, playoff basketball is important, and I can't let my teammates down, and I paid a good amount of money to play in this league. So I was at the first trivia night. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to this one, but I am going to be sad. And we also, if you're not able to make it out to our trivia night over at Chicken and Pickle, we also have Cardinals home game tailgates, which I've also made it out to. It is awesome. And it's not just because of our events. No. It is because of the fantastic stuff over there, whether it's their chef-inspired restaurant that has the greats like the chicken and waffles, chicken and fries. I got pickles, I got burgers, I got ribs, I got quesadillas. They have everything. It's a 2-story bar, indoor-outdoor complex. Did I mention that you can play a lot of pickleball there as well, which is really fun.
It is
I've
fun.
only played a couple of times, including when we went out to Chicken and Pickle, and it is such a fun time. And you can head to chickenandpickle.com to see all the fun you can have at their Glendale location.
Get out there. Go do the thing. You want to get in a heat index?
No,
you don't want to get in a heat index. What do you want to do?
I'm kidding.
What do you want to do?
There is nothing in this world that I would rather do than get into heat index.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Wow.
Calm down, Nigel.
Yeah, Nigel Strawberry. God, that's a great nickname. That is gonna stick. It's absolutely gonna stick. Let's go ahead. Let's get into heat index. Some players for the Arizona State Sun Devils that need to have some big games. Starting with QB1, Sam Leavitt. Have yourself a day. Without Cam Skattebo, or even with Cam Skattebo, Sam Leavitt needs to find a way to carve up this UCF defense if the Sun Devils are going to move to 7-2. Right now, Sam Leavitt is coming off one of his best performances in his collegiate career. This was obviously a performance from Sam Skattebo, the offense as a whole against Oklahoma State. That was quite impressive. Sam Leavitt, though, I think needs to take charge this week, especially in the absence of running back Cam Skattebo. And this is really going to be one of your final opportunities this season for Sam Leavitt to truly carry this team to victory, because you get to Kansas State, you get to BYU. Those are going to need to be full team games. I think Sam Leavitt could single-handedly beat UCF this weekend.
Sam Leavitt, welcome to your moment.
Have a moment.
Welcome to what could be the defining moment of what's already been an incredible redshirt freshman campaign. If Cam Skattebo does not play on Saturday and you put this team on your back in the air and on the ground, you are continuing to cement yourself as a fan favorite, not just for this year, but for a long time. Sam Leavitt is the absolute truth.
Yeah.
The absolute truth. He's young, though. So can he step up
just a wee lad
in this moment? I have nothing that points me to believe that won't happen. But he's going to have a chance.
Yeah.
And if he puts UCF just down in the dirt, 300 all-purpose, couple tutties, then we're going to have a conversation about who Sam Leavitt can be in this system going forward without Cam Skattebo, because you're not going to have Cam Skattebo next year, and really what the ceiling is for this kid. This is a big game for him. Even if Cam plays, Cam's not going to be fully healthy.
Yeah.
Like this is and should be the Sam Leavitt game.
He had his best performance of his career last week.
Yes.
Completed 69% of his passes, only 9 incompletions. A couple of those were drops. 304 passing yards. First time in his career he's gone over 300 yards at this level. 3 touchdowns, no INTs. The first time in his college career where he's thrown 3 touchdowns and had no interceptions on the other end. But it's been interesting because only 7 carries for 5 yards on the ground. That was his worst game as a runner for this Arizona State offense. It's been interesting to see, again, the development of Sam Leavitt so far this season. He could be a running quarterback. He can sit in the pocket. He can scramble and throw on the run. He's got a deep ball. Like, he is slowly proving he's showing you every single week that he can do everything that it takes to be a high-level quarterback. As it stands right now, Arizona State, every single win this season, they've followed it up with another win. There hasn't been a time where they've won a game and then lost a game right after it. It's been win streak, win streak, win streak, right? You had the loss to Tech. You had the loss to Cincinnati. Every single time this season, Arizona State has been able to get at least 2 wins in a row. We'll see if they can do it with Sam Leavitt at the helm for Arizona State. That brings us to the second member of the Heat Index, this time on the defensive side of the ball. Big CJ fight in the interior of this Arizona State defense. RJ Harvey's coming to town, and he is a man on a mission. He has collected run defenses like the Grim Reaper after every single game. 3 touchdowns against the Arizona Wildcats. Not much of a football program in and of itself in Tucson. But at the end of the day, RJ Harvey is priority number 1 for CJ Fight in this Arizona State defense.
Yeah, there's one way that UCF wins this game, and one way only. And that is RJ Harvey going off.
He's a dog.
If RJ Harvey doesn't go off, Arizona State wins this game. Cam Skattebo plays or doesn't play. If you contain RJ Harvey, which is extremely hard to do.
16 touchdowns on the air for RJ
Okay, you can't contain RJ Harvey, but if you can just stop the bleeding a little bit, not let him run buck wild all over you, right? He's going to get his, but like give him like 100 yards and a touchdown, maybe 2. right?
No.
Just don't let him get like
What's
200.
been the worst game that he's had this year?
Oh, I don't even know.
Let's see.
Okay, can I guess?
You can guess.
Worst game.
Are you guessing the opponent, the yards?
I'm going to guess yards.
Okay, yards.
Worst game this
He
season.
had 16 carries this game. That was his worst game.
94 yards.
Lower.
82
Lower.
yards. 64 yards.
75 yards.
That's pretty
He had
bad.
a stretch back-to-back against Florida and Colorado. 75 yards against Florida, 77 yards against Colorado, and then he went 94 yards against Cincinnati. Every other game this season, he's gone for over $120.
And how many of those games did they win?
They lost all 3 of those games.
Okay, keep RJ keep RJ Harvey under 100 yards.
Yeah, I mean you keep
keep him under 100. Yeah, keep him under 100.
Games, he's gone for 184, 127, 196.
Yeah, keep RJ Harvey under triple digits, and you win this game. And CJ Fight is a massive part of that.
Yeah, I mean he is going to have to eat up the A gaps because RJ Harvey, I mean he can make you miss, he can run through you, he can do it all. 1,201 rushing yards on the season, 16 touchdowns, averaging 7 yards a tote right now. He's been an absolute monster. He hasn't necessarily been the biggest threat in the receiving game. 13 catches, 219 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns on the season, about 2 catches a game. Overall, though, you got to stop him on first and second down. That's how you win this game is you win first and second down. Make it 2nd and 12, make it 2nd and 10, 3rd and long, so that you can really take away the rushing attack for UCF when you get to those 3rd downs, especially when you're going in to this UCF game where you're having a quarterback that UCF hasn't necessarily played a ton with. Dylan Risk, true freshman.
The Rizzler.
6'2", 205. He does kind of look like if the Rizzler was in college. Like he does kind of look like that.
Hold up.
He's a big quarterback, 6'2", 205. Again, last week, can you evaluate him off of the 396 yards and 4 touchdowns when he went up against Arizona?
Sorry, you are so right.
He looks like the Rizzler if the Rizzler grew up.
Dude, if you said, hey, we put the Rizzler in like an AI aging
that looks like him.
Wow.
Yeah, Arizona
I'm
State
scared.
has to play the Rizzler.
I'm scared. I'm scared of the Rizzler.
You're scared of the Rizzler? The Rizzler?
The Rizzler. I'm not worried about him, like, legitimately.
Can you evaluate him honestly based off of
No.
going up against Arizona last week?
No. That's like putting me in a podcasting competition with somebody who's mute. Like, you can't judge me based off of that because there's no competition.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Sorry, that was a little bit of a stretch.
That was targeted.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Shout out all my mute homies out there.
Oh my gosh. That's wild. That's wild. Let's move on to the 3rd member of the Heat Index. Ironically enough, this was the player that I had put in before Keyshaun Elliott even was rolled out. Yeah.
Really?
Caleb McCullough.
You're a smart guy.
I just know ball.
Football freak?
Caleb McCullough. He's a linebacker that has already stepped up for Arizona State at different points this season. He's going to have to step up again with Keyshaun Elliott out with the stinger. Caleb McCullough at that linebacker spot again, similar to what we just said with CJ Fight. The linebackers are going to be crucial to stopping RJ Harvey in this ground game, one of the best ground games in the nation, not just the Big 12. Caleb McCullough, the same way that he stepped up in previous weeks, is going to have to do it again against UCF.
Yeah. I think you summed it up pretty perfectly. Get a repeat performance. He's been playing well since then, but hasn't had the same amount of opportunity. He's clearly ready for it. This is a team that you can, make a massive impact against. If you play well and you help stop RJ Harvey and you help clean everything up, it doesn't matter that you're missing your best player. Caleb McCullough, you're a massive part of that. Step up like you stepped up the first time.
Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely fair. Again, to recap who we had for the Heat Index this week, Sam Leavitt, CJ Fight, and Caleb McCullough. Guys, in the comments, let me know one player that's not on this Heat Index that you think needs to go out there and have a big game for Arizona State to come out on top.
Kyson Brown.
Kyson Brown, huh?
Kyson Brown.
Tell me. Explain it to me.
Even if Cam plays, we saw at the end of the Cincinnati game, Kyson got more burn. Kenny said he wants to include him a little bit more.
I want to include you more.
Dude, listen to last night's post-game show. I'm included quite enough. But
Homie was ripping.
Brother, I think if we had to break down the words said,
time of possession,
time of possession.
Yeah.
If out of the hour, I would say time of possession for me last night. I was actually thinking when I left, I was like, I should put a timer on my computer every time I start talking, and once it hits like a minute, I have to shut up.
There we go. We got to leave a like lower.
There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh wait, other way. But yeah, I think time of possession for me last night was like 82% of our hour. I would say so. I was riffing. But Jordan Tice in the chat, Shamari Simmons in the chat, that's good. Kyson Brown for me, because with or without Scat, he's going to be more involved. And if he can keep a consistent ground game along with Leavitt, then this offense is going to be just fine. Yeah,
I agree. I do want to get to Sharon had a comment way early in the show that I forgot to acknowledge.
What the heck, man?
Sorry. I'm so sorry. Sharon was asking, though, just about the schedule for us based off of the fact that we did a post-game show last night for basketball, how that's going to impact our daily 1:30 shows. So it is going to impact it. We do have, I believe this is the last day show that we have this week.
It's why we're doing all of this right now.
It is. We have a post-game show on Friday for the Arizona State-Santa Clara game. We have a post-game show for Arizona State and UCF on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then we have a post-game show for Arizona State and Gonzaga on Sunday. So we are going to be doing post-game shows for Arizona State basketball every single game, assuming that this is a team that is worth covering to that extent.
Subject to change. Like we'll keep you guys
like the Thanksgiving game is not happening.
We'll
We're
keep
not
you
doing
guys
a post-game
updated
show for that.
I will also say, unfortunately,
Eric's a fraud.
So, okay, honesty hour between me and you.
Honesty hour. This guy.
Hosting on two shows, there are overlaps. And the Suns and ASU tend to play on similar days. So twice this week, there is an ASU basketball post game at the same time as the Suns post game. And there will be days where I do ASU instead of Suns. However, right now we're in the process of training our new producer. There's a lot going on, lots of moving parts, which means I will not be on those post game shows. But I promise you,
you're not on Friday's post game show.
I think, well, not to talk about this all right now, but there are Suns games. I think I might be able to do Sundays. So let's talk about Sundays. It's going to be close, but it's
Saturday.
It's Sunday. Saturday, I'm here. Yeah. Football, I'm here. I'm here. But I just want people to know I will be here as often as possible. And if I'm not, it is because there are other responsibilities. Yeah, it's because I mean, come on, guys. You want me to do more shows with this guy? You maybe do an entire summer with this guy. You want me to do basketball too?
You got to do a whole summer.
It was a blessing. I just want everybody to be aware of that. If I'm not there, I'm not just like kicking my feet up or like out on ASU basketball.
Yeah, Jose Perez over here.
And once things settle down with the production transition and everything, I'll be able to do more. But having my hand in both pots is a lot. So just putting that out there, lots of post-game shows for basketball, post-game for football. I'm going to do my best to be there as often as humanly possible. If you miss me, you can also come watch Suns. So do both.
Not while ASU basketball is going.
No.
We're not doing that. Come on now. Get it right. JJ in the chat, Will in the chat, offering to be tagged in. Yeah, we've definitely got options. We've got scoring options to replace you if we need to. JJ in the chat, thank you, Ruby. We appreciate you and your clock possession.
So speaking of a stat, AZ Cats G said that I'm going to get a triple-double in our playoff game tomorrow or on Thursday. Yeah, no chance. I've been really bad. Bad.
Have you really?
I've not been good. I think my highest scoring is like 9 points.
Jet Dice in the chat. Big Pokey? Question mark? Yeah, we may get the Deli Man out
tap
here.
into the big poke.
We could get the Deli Man back on the program for hoops. I know he's a big he's an ASU basketball sicko.
That guy likes ASU?
He's a sicko.
Really?
He's gross.
Never talked about it with him.
That man needs to be caged.
He went to ASU?
ASU basketball is going on.
I thought he was like a big GCU
he went to
fan.
Idaho State.
Idaho State.
There he is. There's Big Pokey.
I support the Bengals.
That's it. Okay. Watch your mouth.
I'm rooting for them.
Watch your mouth.
I'm rooting for Idaho State this season.
Look, we are going to get to our predictions.
What was his name? Dylan?
Darling.
Oh,
Dylan Darling.
DJ Darling goes better.
DJ Darling does go. Yeah, no, it goes crazy. What was that one dude? Knipple on Duke. Yeah. Oh my goodness. My God.
Okay, we are off the rails.
We are going to get to our predictions, but we are going to take one final break.
Man, I need me a good cooler. Not one of those coolers that leaks. Doesn't keep your ice cold.
No leaky coolers.
Your drinks get warm. It's heavy. No. And you know what I need? I need Rugged Road.
Rugged Road.
Because Rugged Road checks all the boxes. How about floatability? Staying upright in water, whether you're in a river, whether you're in a pool. I don't know. Whether you want to put it in your bathtub. I don't know. It's floating upright. How about lightweight design? Unlike other heavy-duty coolers, Rugged Road is incredibly light, easy to transport, durable, and dependable. That's a big part of it as well, especially if you're doing outdoor adventures, which is the versatility part of it. Outdoors, indoors, parties, tailgates, hiking, camping, whatever it is. Rugged Road is there for you. And get ready for all your adventures with their coolers. Head to ruggedroadoutdoors.com. Use code PHNX for 10% off your order. Lightweight, durable, always floating upright, perfect on land or in water. So leave that old heavy cooler at home and get yourself a better cooler for the new season. Rugged Road, your ultimate outdoor companion.
I love it. I also love everybody here at PHNX, except, well, I guess I shouldn't say.
I was about to say,
I guess I shouldn't say who I love, who I don't love here at PHNX. Look, it's all jokes, guys. We have a ton of events over here at PHNX. We've got the Territorial Cup Takeover on November 30th. That's presented by Neutral and Branded Bills. We're going to have some pregame meetups at Bourbon Bent in Tucson. Definitely come hang out with us over there. We've got obviously the PHNX Trivia Night at Chicken and Pickle in Glendale. That is tomorrow at 6:30. You can register your team of up to 4 for free. Completely free. We've also got the PHNX Winter Pickleball Tournament December 14th at Chicken and Pickle in Glendale.
And Valley Suns G League takeover for the first game ever in franchise history. It's going to be a Mullet Arena for all of you in Tempe. That is on the 11th of November. Go phnx.com/events. Come hang out with me and the crew.
Do it.
Do it.
Get out there. You ready for some predictions?
Just do it. Sorry.
Bring the boom.
Oh, you want to hear my impression of the kid?
I hate those guys, dude. I hate those guys.
We're Costco guys. Of course we like chicken bakes. Boom!
That's actually really good. That's actually really
So I learned that I could do that doing like a cold open for the Diamondback show one time when I randomly filled in.
That's a random.
I know. It was very very random. We were talking about their coaching, their pitching coaches like getting fired.
Boom.
Is it a boom or a doom? Boom! Boom! Boom!
Kyle, we're clipping that. We're clipping that and we're tweeting that for some reason. I don't know what yet, but we are. Every touchdown.
If Cam Skattebo runs somebody over, just boom! Boom!
Yeah, no, that's absolutely getting clipped 100%. Guys, drop your score predictions for Arizona State against UCF in football in the comments. Erik, you're up. What do we got for our score predictions?
I got a close one, but I got a low scoring game. 24-21. ASU without Cam Skattebo.
You're saying Scat.
This is my score without Scat. My score with Scat is like 38 to like 21. Yeah.
Oh, you got a beating.
Yeah, if Scat plays, yeah.
Arizona State hasn't really beat anybody like that except Oklahoma State.
Why not?
I guess Wyoming too.
Why not 2 times in a row?
I mean, why not? I'm here for it. I have a close game as well, a little higher scoring affair on Saturday. I've got Arizona State coming out on top over RJ Harvey and company, 34-31. I think the Sun Devils find a way to go back-to-back weeks with 30+, doing it at home. Again, this is an Arizona State team that has not lost at Mountain America Stadium so far this season. That is something that I think you need to keep in mind. You're going to get much better weather than you've had in previous games at Mountain America Stadium this season. Connor in the chat saying 57 for ASU, 31 for UCF. A 57-point ball game.
Oh, I love it.
Arizona State would be in the AP Top 25 if that was the score.
You know what that is? That's a lot of booms.
Can you give me 57 booms?
I do not tempt me because I will. If you count them out, I'll do it.
I'm not doing that. That would just be
a
awful.
minute straight
of booms. Jet in the chat saying 34-21 in favor of Arizona State. Scott saying 28-7 ASU. Sounds like a lot of people are in on the Sun Devils. Again, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Let's quickly talk about the basketball games. Any predictions for Santa Clara and Gonzaga? Do you have Arizona State going 1-2 to start the season, maybe a little 2-1 action, or do you have them absolutely shocking everybody and starting the year 3-0 with a win on the road over Gonzaga on Sunday?
If they beat Gonzaga, I'm doing the entire show as the Costco kid.
Okay.
If they beat Gonzaga.
Okay.
Well, if I'm on the show.
Okay.
If I'm there.
Yeah.
If not, I will do another show as the Costco
and you have
kid.
to eat a chicken bake every ad break.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Dude, I love chicken bakes.
Boom! I think they beat Santa Clara. I think it's cleaner, but I still don't think it's like perfect. Hopefully like 10-point win. And then I think you get just your getting your head smacked in.
Do you?
By Gonzaga.
You think it's a
dude? Did you see what they did to Baylor?
Yeah, they beat Baylor.
Yeah. ASU's not as good as Baylor.
You don't know that.
Want to bet? Want to bet, Mr. Confident?
What's the bet? Who said I'm confident?
That ASU ends up as a worse team record-wise than Baylor this season. Literally, whatever you want to bet. I'll put my rent on it.
You put your rent on it.
Like, whatever you want to bet, ASU does not end up as a better team than Baylor this year.
What do you think, Captain Redbeard? What's a good spicy bet here? I don't want your rent. I don't want you to be homeless.
That's true.
Anything?
Let me think about it.
Okay, Captain Redbeard's gonna think about it. I want you to be bald.
No chance.
You'll bet your rent before you'll bet a bald head.
I don't know if it's gonna grow back.
You're a hat guy anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like the little hair that comes through here. I'm not trying to be bald.
JJ in the chat, they'll win by between 4 and 7 versus Santa Clara, lose by 11 to 15 to Gonzaga. Book it. Guess we'll see. Will in the chat, not me over here watching this with a chicken bake sitting next to me. Oh, I love me some chicken bakes.
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Look, before we get out of here, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the rest of the Big 12 schedule. Obviously, some big games going on in the race.
I'm talking basketball or football?
For the Big 12 title. I'm talking football. You got West Virginia and Cincinnati going at it this week. Both teams 3-2 in conference play, so either way, it is going to help Arizona State. You'd rather have West Virginia win this game because Cincinnati obviously holds the tiebreaker over Arizona State. So for your rooting guide, you're rooting for West Virginia on the road against Cincinnati. Who do you think gets it done there?
Cincy.
You think Cincy gets it done?
Yeah, I think Cincy wins.
You just hate good things for Arizona State?
Did you know that their stadium was called Nippert Stadium?
Yeah, dude. We literally watched an entire game that was played there.
I didn't know. I didn't hear the name.
You didn't see the game day graphic
No.
that Kyle made that had Nippert Stadium on it?
No. I saw it, but it didn't like register. I think Cincinnati wins, especially at home.
Will in the chat, Scat listed as RB1 this week. He is listed as the starting running back.
We will see.
That is because he has not officially been ruled out. So that is why he is there. Obviously, if he plays, he will be RB1. This game feels weird. Iowa State on the road against Kansas. Kansas 1-4 in conference play. Iowa State 4-1. Obviously, you'd love for Kansas to pull off the upset. I don't see Iowa State losing back-to-back games to unranked teams.
I don't see it either. But also, why does this feel really weird?
It just feels weird. It looks weird to look at.
Think about it.
Kansas coming off a bye.
Houston beating Kansas State has the same energy as Kansas beating Iowa State. I don't know how to explain it, but I think that's like they're in similar places. I would put money on Iowa State, but for some reason I'm looking at Kansas and I'm noticing. I'm noticing Kansas.
Feels like it could happen.
Yeah. You know who I'm really rooting for this week? Texas freaking Tech.
Over Colorado?
At home against number 20 Colorado. Knock them out of the top 25, dude. Get yourself in the top 25, Texas Tech.
This is such a weird... This one is weird in the way that it impacts Arizona State because you haven't played Colorado, but they're 4-1 in conference play, and you don't get to play Colorado. So if they win this game, they're 5-1. They're rising up the ranks. Texas
they're
Tech
20 in the country.
Tech's 4-2. They hold the tiebreaker over you though. So I don't know who you want to win this game. I think Colorado.
I would like Colorado just to be knocked off their high horse.
You want to see them fall.
I also want Texas Tech to keep winning in Lubbock so that our loss doesn't look as bad.
I guess that's fair. That's a fair assumption.
Like I get as far as like Big 12 rankings go or whatever, but again, I don't think this team's going to be competing for a Big 12 championship.
Tech?
Hopefully they do. No, ASU.
Oh.
But if Tech continues to beat good teams,
looks
then
good
that
for
loss
State.
for Arizona State. Same thing with Cincinnati. If Cincinnati continues to win and they beat West Virginia, that looks really good for ASU at the end of the season. So
TCU, Oklahoma State. Talk about a gross one. TCU at 3-3, clinging to life in this conference.
That gets a doom.
Oklahoma State 3-6, 0-6 in conference play. Have not won a ball game against a Big 12 opponent. TCU's been a hit or miss program. They're a win away from being bowl eligible. Oklahoma State, obviously, at this point in the year, needs to win out if they want to be bowl eligible. How do you see this one shaking out?
Either like 56-54 TCU wins or like 7-3 Oklahoma State wins.
I feel like this has 1,000 points between the two teams.
Yeah, probably.
Like, written all over. Neither one of these teams wants to play defense.
I feel like Oklahoma State's going to win this game in a shootout. I feel like this is the Ollie Gordon game.
TCU's favored by 10.5.
I feel like this is the Ollie Gordon game.
This is the Ollie Gordon game?
Yeah, this is the Pac-12ification of the Big 12 continued.
This is gross.
Yes.
Also, Josh Hoover has thrown 21 touchdowns this year.
Really?
That's crazy.
That's kind of nuts.
Here we go. Under the lights. BYU taking on Utah. A rivalry game. BYU.
How the tables have turned.
Number 9 in the nation.
Jeez.
Undefeated.
Jeez.
On the road against Utah. Unranked, 4-4 on the year. Only one conference win this season. This feels like a Utah upset.
Yeah, it does, but it's not going to happen. BYU is so good.
You would love
BYU is going to beat the brakes
Utah
off of this
winning
team.
This game would be awesome.
Yes, it would be great. Yeah,
no, it would be awesome for Arizona State.
It would be. It would have me a little bit worried about when they play ASU though. If they let one slip by, I feel like because do they have a
game
bye?
By game thing?
Do they have a bye after this? Who does BYU play? Utah, then they play Kansas, and then Arizona State.
Arizona State's the toughest team they play left.
Yeah, it is. But if let's say hypothetically BYU wins the next 2 games, and then Arizona State beats them, and they're like top 7 in the country.
I don't think that matters.
That's a bigger win for ASU.
No, because you got to think about it like this. At this point, Arizona State is not going to make the playoff because of a ranking. Like that's not going to happen, right? So like you could beat number 7, you could beat number 5. It doesn't matter. The only way Arizona State at this point makes any sort of postseason outside of their own bowl game is they have to win the Big 12 title. So you have to be one of the best.
You need
teams.
BYU to lose a game, and then you need to beat BYU,
Exactly.
and you need to win out. So then that way you guys have the same conference record and overall record with 2 losses in conference and 2 losses on the season.
Boom.
That's the recipe.
That's a boom.
I'm not going to do it.
Boom.
Come on, give us your best.
I don't have one.
Your best Big Justice impersonation.
Will in the chat, hypothetically, 8-2 Arizona State versus 10-0 BYU or Indiana versus Ohio State. Which one does game day go to? Or do they snub both and go to Army Notre Dame?
They go to Army Notre Dame.
They're not going to Army Notre Dame. That's not happening.
Respectfully.
8-2 ASU versus 10-0 BYU.
8-2 ASU is probably ranked.
Yeah, but
Indiana's good, which is so weird.
They go to Indiana and Ohio State because Indiana's a top 10 team right now, I think.
Yeah.
Indiana's undefeated, are they not?
Yeah, Indiana's undefeated.
Yeah, they go to the Indiana-Ohio State game, the Big Ten bias.
Yeah, Indiana's 9-0, 8th in the country. Ohio State's 7-1, 2nd in the country.
Yeah, they definitely go to that matchup because Arizona State
sucks.
Well, Arizona State, if they were 8-2 at that point in this season,
they'd be ranked. If they went out until BYU,
they'd be like number 20.
Yeah, they'd be ranked.
So, but you'd have 20 versus a BYU team that's probably 7 or 8 at that point.
Still a good game.
Yeah, but it's not a top 10 matchup. No. Come on now, like that's your bias.
Why does Indiana have to be good?
It's only good in football right now. They're awful in everything.
Which is like
else.
The opposite.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. You got anything else you want to talk about?
I want you to do a Rizzler impersonation.
I'm not doing a Rizzler.
Can you do the like?
No, I'm not doing that. If Arizona State wins on Saturday, I'll do
the Rizzler.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll do the Rizzler. You do Big Justice.
I mean, I've already done Big Justice.
That's fair. Guys, that's going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devils Show. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. If you enjoyed the content, give us a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow this guy over here. That is Chicken Little. You can follow him at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You can follow Captain Redbeard at K Coop Sports on social. Be on the lookout for a brand new episode of Behind Enemy Lines on Thursday. PHNX plays another episode coming out on Friday. So much content, post-game shows throughout the weekend. Make sure you're subscribed to PHNX Sports. Catch this guy on PHNX Suns every now and again, and we will see you guys on Friday. But in the meantime, go Devils, and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.